is in response to Lavette's video about NPCs. I haven't touched the topic since I made the response to Matt, or Quantum of Conscience. And I stopped talking about it because the term was weaponized almost immediately, and I saw where it was going, so I was like, NPC, not NPC, doesn't matter. It's just another label. But Lavette was reframing the term, and I had considered the flipping of it, and people had said that as well on my video that I made. People were saying, maybe you guys are the NPCs. Maybe the whole rest of the society is regular and normal, and we're the non-player. But of course, it doesn't mean anything. To flip the terms doesn't mean a lot. It's different labels for the same division. So it doesn't really mean anything. But what Lavette's saying is, I'm kind of seeing it as a way to nullify the weaponization of the term, because if you look at it in that way, where the anomalies, or us, are the NPCs, the non-player characters, as per the script, and everybody else who's finding their place to fit within the script and feeling proper there, they're the players. They're the ones that are not ad-libbing. And that makes it okay, in a sense, in a better way than seeing NPC as this sort of diminished, blind creature that can't create. In this way, that the players, which are going to be the ones that are fitting into the script, are natural. They're doing what they feel is proper, and they're finding their way within that overarching script that is handed to everybody at birth. And those of us who are the NPCs in this case, like Lavette said, and most of the people here can probably resonate with this, we all did our damnedest to fit into the script. I know I did. I tried many things. All of the stuff that you're supposed to do, I did it. What are the major ones? School. There aren't very many for the basic script. Going to eat. Sorry, man. I would have given him a ride, but I want to finish this video. He wants to go to San Pablo. Anyway, like I was saying, we all tried fitting into the script and it didn't work. The main framework of the script is, well, finish high school, right? School is a huge component of it, of the programming. So finish high school. That gets you to the bottom level tier of the script, to where you're accepted for regular work. And the main thing you're supposed to be doing is going to college and getting a degree. And at that point, you're fully script accredited as per schools. As far as school is concerned, you're script accredited, and you'll be accepted for the most part. So there's that. And then there's the religious aspect of it, which comes into play via marriage. Marriage is the backbone of religion, because that puts into documentation your life. And now manipulation can be inserted in through your spouse and through the document, because the document has a place within the script. And of course, the money system is also a huge component of it. So getting married, having kids also is a huge component. Anytime that you add into the documentation components or pieces, then the system itself has that much more leverage with you. And then another component is housing. Another major component is housing. So school, marriage, and housing, and kids. Those are the 4 script components. And you need every single one of them for the most part, unless you decide that you're going to be a bachelor. But even so, even if you decide that you're going to be a bachelor, you still have the school component, and you still have the work component. So if you're a bachelor and you have a job and you say, well, I just would like to go set up a tent on the sidewalk and live with the homeless people. Well, that's fine and dandy, but you're going to be now affecting the image of all the people at your work and the friends that you had from your schooling. And if they're not down with that image, then your friendship or your association with these people is going to be called into question. So the leverage becomes available via those 4 major script components. And they all work with each other. It's a network. And then the ones that you see that are homeless or that are divorced or that have all kinds of family issues and they don't get along with any family members, they're holding resentments, all this stuff, those are the ones that went in to do their script and didn't work. Just broke. Something happened. So you could say, in a sense, the NPCs in this consideration are the homeless people, the divorced people, the people in jail, the crazies in the loony bin, the crazy tinfoil hat wearers or conspiracy theorists, pretty much everybody that had a voice of dissent within the program. They said, well, I don't like this part of it. And those that are in support of the program said, well, that's fine. And there's always the street, there's always a jail, there's always a loony bin, there's the forest right there. You can go walk into it, nobody's stopping you. Or there's suicide. Many have chosen that option. There's quite a bit of a fallback net for those that can't fit into the script. And the fallback net is all those things I just mentioned. Most people that fail at the initial program or getting into the script, what usually happens is they get caught by one of the fallback nets, and then the amber glow of the security of the program, they see that glowing over, yonder, and they're like, well, I failed, I gotta get back somehow. So they try to play both sides. So they try to kind of MacGyver it, right? It's like, okay, I'm in the script, but I don't really, it doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm trying to play here, right? And then that has some varying levels of success. I mean, for me, it has had varying levels of success. I've always played per the script to some extent, and we all have to. Unless you go find a cave and sit in the cave and don't talk to anybody, then you have to find ways of playing into the script. Conversation is part of the script. English, or whatever language that you communicate in, part of the script. Body language, part of the script. There's correct body language, and there's incorrect body language. And you gotta learn how to toe the line. Otherwise you're gonna get socked in the face, or you're gonna get shot, or you're gonna end up in the loony bin, or the prison, or the forest, or the cave. But like Lavette was saying, if you come to see that you don't fit to the script, and for you it's not written in stone, and it's not written in the stars anymore, then you're thrown back onto yourself in your present moment, and what do you do with it? what do you know, like, who are you going to ask about it? It's not, the Bible's not going to tell you, like, the script sures. That's a sure script right there, the scripture. It's a fail-safe sure script for most people, but what if that doesn't work for you? You're like, I don't fit anywhere. Then you say, I don't even belong here in this weird place called Earth either. And if your emotions are destroying you while you come to this realization, then you'll say, well, fuck this place. Give me some pills, give me a gun, give me a super tall building, or something like that. Give me the Golden Gate Bridge. Practice my flying lessons. But when you've hopped out, ad-libbing it moment to moment, the thing is, right, if you keep in the background the basic tenets of the script, and they are simple, the basic tenets are be decent to each other. It's the golden rule. It's the Jesus thing. That's the basic foundation of it. All of the systems hold this as the foundation, and everybody knows this is the foundation. I don't care if you're some sharp lawyer and you're manipulating up the wazoo to make millions or billions of dollars, or if you're a businessman making the same amount of money, and it's kind of fucky in some way, and you're stepping on your neighbor's face to get to the top of the mountain, you still know at the bottom of it the basic tenets of the script, of the society script, are be decent. Maybe not be decent to everybody, but at least you have to have some people that you're decent to. The world's worst criminals, murderers, mass murderers, rapists, whatever, crazy, archontic, demiurge, Yaldabaoth type creatures, anyone, they still know that's the basic tenet. And they know that the piper has to be paid at some point, and they might try to push it out, press it out, use technology to try to finagle other people into thinking that they're sinful too, so they're not the only ones in their pity party. Every single game that can possibly be played has already been played, and we're seeing the ramifications play out in front of us in this one out of many parallels or possibilities. We're seeing this one little iota pinprick of a pixel or a drop in the massive ocean of possibilities. That's this entire universe is one itsy bitsy boat compared to all the rest of the possibilities. Especially if you consider that it's infinite, then again, size disappears in the face of infinity, and small is big and whatnot. And you've already transcended duality just by realizing that. But you don't fit in the script anymore. It has no place for you whatsoever. But to get back to my earlier point, if you come to this realization and you see there's some sort of power in it, and there is power in it, and that's the only place power has ever been, the crazy wackadoodle people who nobody can understand, they do something, they say something, they start a movement, and nobody knows where it came from. It just BAM! All of a sudden something new is here, and everyone's reading into the manuals and the scriptures, and they're looking at the stars and they're saying, how the fuck did this person appear? Like, where did they come from? There's no sign or mention of how they're behaving anywhere whatsoever. So then the whole rest of society reacts, and they start writing down into the books, you know? They're like, well, that crazy one over there just went off the rails completely and he or she ushered in some crazy new movement that we don't have any record of whatsoever. So what do? They write it down, they hook up their algorithm machines to it. They're like, Sally or Alice or whoever, I want you to analyze this, figure it out, get every bit and piece and possibility of what they're doing, figure it out, and then so we can write it into the book, into the manual, so now we can be prepared should this happen again, right? So, you know, people try to document this errant movement. And of course that never ends either, because if you're dealing with an infinite reality, then the wackadoodles who are flying off the hinges are always going to be doing that, and they're always going to be finding new things to surprise everybody else with. And you know, the ones who wish that there was some way of boxing these individuals into, you know, stop being so unpredictable or frightening or whatever, they're frantically writing down, you know, like write down, you know, he did this, she did this, you know, their pattern is such, and you know, we'll figure them out. And it's like, no. There's always something outside of that, and it's an endless sea that you can dip into and just pull something out. And you know, it just goes on and on. So that's the basic dichotomy that we have going on in society, and it's the dichotomy that has always been going on. There's the unknown, there's the unmanifest, the unrecorded, that just pops into being. And everyone else is left scratching their heads for a while and just bewildered, like what just happened. Then they go record it, and it becomes part of the manifest. And they both affect each other. The ones that are in the script feel probably safer because they haven't had that giant explosion, internal enlightenment explosion that just like laid waste to everything they ever knew. They haven't had that yet. But they're still reacting to what you're doing. If you're one of the crazy ones, the normal ones are reacting to you. You're reacting to the normal ones. You look out there and you see a sea of uniform. You see everything looks the same. You're like, why are people doing? Why are they repeating? Why does this guy wake up and drink his coffee at the same exact time in the morning every single day? Why is this woman content with going and sitting behind the same computer and, generally speaking, typing in the same exact numbers, getting the same paycheck, and going to the same Applebee's every single Friday, or TGI Fridays? Those of us who aren't incapable of fitting into that are like, well, what is going on? How do you do that? How do dichotomy, and it's probably a necessary dichotomy. Everything that appears is necessary. So perhaps, and I don't like suggesting things too often, but perhaps a good measure for society to implement is just say, well, we have people who like kind of the program that has been set up, and they kind of keep the order around, and then we have the people that are just, we can barely see them. Their behavior is so abnormal that our eyes almost fail us when we're trying to look at them. And the script could actually be kinder to those individuals that can't fit into it, because it actually needs them as well. Right now, the script is acting like they're garbage or they're trash, and then you see them thrown out into the trash onto the street. They're laying on the sidewalk now, right? So it's a bit of mistreatment in a sense. But of course, you know, if you implemented a system that recognized that, you know, they're either, you know, Alan Watts, Pricklies versus the Goose, they're this way or they're that way, like this is a wackadoodle, he doesn't fit into anything, but we still have to somehow figure out, you know, something or other. So a way to do it could be like, let them do, provided they're being, you know, observing the basic tenet, which is be decent. Provided they're doing that, you know, let them be for the most part. And I know, like, I already know I'm making a script right now, like it's coming out, you know, people could say, analyze this video and say, oh, he said implement a system. So now we have, you know, the wackadoodles and we have the normal people. The wackadoodles can do anything they want so long as they're not hurting anybody. So long as they're being decent, right? And I already know it's not gonna work, because wackadoodle will go do something crazy, and then someone watching will be like, they'll have a brain aneurysm because it's so alien to them that it can't even fit inside of their brain, and they'll have, you know, some sort of a nervous breakdown, and then both are brought forth to the society that has allowed the implementation of this, and they plead before the judge. The crazy guy was like, I don't even know what I did, and I don't know why that guy's having a seizure. And once the guy comes out of his seizure, he's like just pointing at this guy and trembling, you know. And I'm illustrating what happens when you try to put everything into a script and then use that to somehow, you know, carry on the life, because it doesn't work. Because there are always exceptions, and just it doesn't work. But just the same as I know that, and I know that my system I'm speaking of here, if you were to implement it, would ultimately fail. The script people would look at something like that, sounds reasonable, you know, could work, be great, do it, you know. And to them, they only see the security that's in this set of words that seems to have described fairly accurately how things go down. So to me, there's not, and there never has been, like, a way you could set down in words that fixes everything. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. There are always exceptions. And the problem, you're using infinite mind to sit here and conceptualize everything, put it into words, and the existence itself just pops out the side. The existence itself is doing the unpredictable thing. It's always doing that. It's always been doing that. And that's kind of where salvation is, in my understanding. Salvation from ego comes from that, because no matter what you do or prepare for, something's always popping out the side. You know, you got a big, nice, massive dam that you've built. You're like, all that bad stuff's on the other side of the dam. Just keep it there, you know? And all the while, the bad stuff is pressing on the dam in its own intricate, bad way. And, you know, a little leak pops out the dam, and everyone's like, go fix it, you know, plug it up. You plug it up, but then too much bad stuff gets there, so the bad stuff finds some creative way to pop around the corner. And then eventually, once the dam breaks, all the demons are let loose, and they're running around doing demon things. And then that situation somehow resolves itself. Somehow. And people can find the good in it, and they can find the bad in it, and they can reminisce about what it was like before the dam burst and all this. scripts, as far as I'm concerned, ultimately fail. Every single one of them, miserably or joyously, I don't know. But they fail, they don't work. Words are inaccurate for trying to portray what the existence is. It does not work. Anyway, so now you can be an NPC and it's fine, and you can be not an NPC and it's fine. We can de-weaponize the term now. Peace.